We embrace a positive path for spiritual living, and so we are even going to be looking for the pony in this situation this morning, that pony that filled a room full of poop and it's got to be in there somewhere. So, internet or not, we are here. And we are an open and affirming congregation. We love you exactly as you are in all of your magnificent glory. And I'm so happy that you've joined us this morning. And yes, many of you have asked, yes, I did crochet this. This was one of my winter projects. So since I thought I would wear it in the spirit of the current series. So thank you, Alan. That was the appropriate response. All right, so let's just all take a nice big deep breath. And this morning we are going to pray a prayer of gratitude for everyone who has been working diligently behind the scenes this morning to make sure that we are able to share our service. We are so incredibly grateful for those whose technological abilities are sublime and who are able to support us in sharing this powerful, positive message with the world. For it is a message that the world hungers for. As we look for the good, we look for the good beyond all the scary news and the dramatic news and the breaking news. And yet we look around at the people beside us and around us, and we see only good. And we see love, and we see support, and we see joy. We see compassion and wisdom and strength. And so that's what we choose to focus on. And in this Valentine's weekend, we especially focus on love. We acknowledge that love is our essence, that we don't need to prove ourselves to be loved, that we are love. And one of our most wonderful tasks in this lifetime is to simply express that love in the world wherever we go, whether we have internet or not. And so we enter into this time with gratitude. Gratitude for this time to come apart for a while. Gratitude for all the support we received this morning. Gratitude for this beautiful space and whatever space you are in. And most especially, gratitude for one another. And so it is. Amen. All right, let's stand and sing Day by Day. We all know this one, so let's sing it out. By day, day by day, oh dear Lord, three things I pray. To see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, follow thee more nearly, day by day by day. together in our vision statement, centered in love. We embrace a positive path for spiritual living. And our mission, wherever we are, we provide a welcoming community that inspires and encourages all who gather here through the teaching, sharing, and practice of universal spiritual principles. So one of the ways we practice those universal spiritual principles is to honor wherever you are on your journey in life and in COVID and otherwise. So if you are open to a hug, put it out there and we will bring it on in. If you're more comfortable with a handshake, please put out your hand and we will honor that. And if you want us to leave you completely alone, we understand. Just stay where you are and we will leave you completely alone. Have a great time. Remember to head on in and pick up your mandala. Remember to head into the rose room and choose a mandala to color. good time before I start the announcements to show you. This week's project is called a pocket mandala. And Sherry made this one. This was one of her projects. She said it was the tiniest crochet hook she had ever used. And this is actually embroidery floss. That's how tiny this is. So, so come check it out after the service. It's very sweet, very, very sweet. Okay, couple of quick announcements. Our prayer chaplains today are Dan Christopher, who is in the room and will be available for one-on-one prayer with you after the service. And Lisa Bechtel is holding space from us from home this morning. These are your regular reminders. The basket auction is up and running. If you have anything to donate for it, please sign up downstairs. If you have something to actually bring in, put it upstairs in the conference room, and we will get rolling on that. The Easter egg opera fudge sale is in full swing. Please order your eggs. I've been told that we're only ordering peanut butter. Apparently, I'm the only one in the house who likes coconut. So. So we will be ordering peanut butter. And there is also now a sign up downstairs for Gwen's class, A Lenten Journey of Spiritual Renewal. So please do sign up for that if you are planning on attending that, because it is very experiential. She needs to get supplies, so she needs to know how many people are coming. And because we don't have internet in the building today, the social action team meeting has been moved to 1 o'clock, so everybody can go home and get on Zoom at home. So social action team meeting will be at 1 o'clock. And do remember to check out their blog in the weekly email, because we are participating in the low carbon diet. It's really the only diet I'm participating in right now. But they would love our support in that as we try to decrease our carbon footprint here at Unity of Palmyra. I think that's it for me. Misty, would you like to read the daily word? She's on. They just can't hear it on streaming. That's the only issue. Yeah. Okay, try it again. There you go.
Today's daily word is compassionate. Affirm, I am a passionate presence. In periods of peaceful contemplation, I immerse myself in the unconditional love that joins the human family together in God. As the awareness of divine love fills my mind and heart, it dissolves all memories of difficulties and feelings of discord. Centered in divine love, I deeply feel my oneness with God and with all people. I now see the people in my life anew. Beholding the divinity of each dear one I meet, my heart overflows with empathy as I respond to their troubles and celebrate their triumphs. I am patient. I listen with intention. I recognize their divinity as I recognize my own. I welcome the flow of divine love as it blesses me, as well as with those with whom I am sharing my compassion. And from Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18. You shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against any of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord.
And when my family needs me,
this is the time where we enter into intentional prayer, where we breathe deeply, where we close our eyes and signal to the world that we are coming apart for just a moment to sink into that deepest part of ourselves. That deepest part that is only love. That deepest part that gets covered up by busyness and the chatter in our mind and the goings on in the world. That deepest part that is always there when we take the time and the effort to plumb its depths. And so we do that now. We go deeply into the love that we are, the love that everyone is. And we commit to celebrating that love not only on this weekend of hearts and flowers and chocolate, but every day. Every hour, every minute, remembering that we are love. And it is in that remembering that the greatest of all commandments, to love our neighbor as ourselves, takes on extra meaning. For in order to love our neighbor with complete abandon, without judgment, without resentment, without comparison, we must love ourselves in the same way. And when we are able to do that, when we are able to acknowledge our magnificence, our beauty, our innate wholeness, then we are able to bring those gifts to the world. When we live from that place, every challenge becomes an opportunity. Every problem becomes a possibility. Sadness becomes joy. Resentment becomes forgiveness. And we are able to transform our dramas into living our dreams. And so that is our prayer for today. Whether you are experiencing a challenge or experiencing gratitude, I invite you to do it from that place of love. The love that you are. And so it is. Namaste.
The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. You are beautiful. You are whole. You are think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew, Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or asked the grinning bobcat why he grinned? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Come run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth. Come roll in all the riches all around you, and for once never wonder what they're worth. The rainstorm and the river are my brothers. The heron and the otter are my friends, and we're all connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. How high can a sycamore grow? If you cut it down, then you'll never know. And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, for whether we are white or copper-skinned, we need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. We need to paint with all the colors of the wind. You can own the earth, and still all you'll own is earth, until you can paint with all the colors of the wind.
Beautiful, beautiful. It was beautiful. Give me goosebumps. Okay, so today's project that I shared with you earlier and our creative expression is focused on the art, meaning, and use of mandalas. She calls this Circles and Cycles. This chapter is all about circles and cycles, and how mandalas and the circle, the symbolism of the circle, can represent the cycles of our life and also our spiritual journey. So here's what she has to say about mandalas. I learned a lot in this chapter. Mandala is a Sanskrit word that means circle. Although, as you saw from some of the ones that we printed out for you, not all mandalas are circles. Its root word, manda, means essence, and la is container. So a mandala is a circle or a shape that contains an essence of beauty and harmony, of life and wholeness. So this was some of the interesting stuff. The concept of the concentric circles of life is central to the sacred art of the mandala. Concentric fields within a mandala may represent the many layers of the procession of time, birth and death, day and night, the cycling of the seasons. Or they may represent the layers of growth that a practitioner must pass through to reach enlightenment. The basic mandala starts with a circle and a designated center. If we look at many organic bodies, we immediately recognize this circular form with a center. Galaxies, solar systems, planets, Earth, atoms, the heads of flowers, the growth rings on trees, fruit sliced horizontally through the center. Even the irises and pupils of our own eyes are all mandala forms. Mandalas may also feature cardinal points that stand for north, south, east, and west, or forward, backward, heavenward, and earthward, or the four seasons. Though many mandalas have some kind of fourfold construct within, some are freeform and have no points at all. Other mandalas, both old and new, have multiple cardinal points. Rose windows, for example, often have 8 or 12, and mandalas such as those with flower petal motifs or interlocking triangles may have many points. In Eastern religious traditions, mandalas have a rich and complex history of being created and used as a device for meditation and contemplation. I know in many of my classes in seminary, we used mandalas to help us focus. Whatever the teaching was, the mandala helped us to focus. There can be many layers of meaning and highly detailed representations of people, animals, natural phenomenons, and cosmic structures present in a mandala. Simple mandalas may be as spare as line-drawn circles or symbols within circles, or they can be highly detailed works of art that are loaded with symbolism and structured on symmetry. The Western world is less well known for its mandala traditions, yet there are beautiful examples from the past and new, ever-evolving examples of mandala art in Europe and North America. Cathedral rose windows are an architectural form of mandala found throughout the Western world. And the Navajo Indians of the American Southwest have a mandala sand painting tradition that in many ways parallels that of the Tibetan sand mandala tradition. Specific to the Navajo tradition, the 4 quadrants can represent the 4 sacred mountains or the 4 qualities of light during the 4 quadrants of the day. So a mandala is not just any ordinary drawing. It is used to help us focus our spiritual energy. And she goes on in this chapter to describe how the Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, whom we owe so much to, also used mandalas in his work. He realized in his own healing work that the mandalas were, as he was drawing them, were evolving. They became more and more beautiful. As he described it, less and less broken or fractured as he was healing, as he was using mandalas. And so he also used them with his patients to help them focus their healing energy and to use them to put on paper the symbolism of what they were experiencing. So she shares his work and she says, these understandings of the mandala as a tool for personal integration and psychological healing suggest that the mandala is an effective vehicle for self-discovery. So I hope whatever drawing that you chose during Hugs and Handshakes is a reflection of what you want to represent in the world. She says we can use a circle to center ourselves, to understand who we are, and to find our own wholeness. As Joseph Campbell expressed, making a mandala is a discipline for pulling all those scattered aspects of your life together, for finding a center and ordering yourself to it. Today, mandala creation is being used as a tool for meditation, personal growth, and expression in many arenas. So one of my most beautiful experiences with the mandala was in one of my former communities. Every other year, the Buddhist monks would come, and we would clear out a big center area in the middle of the sanctuary, and they would create a sand mandala. if you've ever experienced the creation of a sand mandala. They used a very fine colored sand, many, many different colors of sand, and they very carefully, with tiny little pieces of paper with little points, draw this incredible design, starting in the center and moving out. Would take a whole week. We would have chairs set up around where the monks were working, and you could watch them do it, and just the focus and the concentration, and just watching them kind of communicate with each other about where they were going to go next, and just how organic the process was. And then by the end of the week, it was this beautiful, this magnificent sand, multicolored mandala. And it just imbued the space with this incredible contemplative energy. And then at the very end of the week, after we had our special service celebrating the mandala, they got a broom and they swept it all away. And the first time I saw it, I went, because in our Western mindset, when you create a magnificent work of art, you have to save it for posterity, right? And what we learned, this powerful lesson that we learned from the monks, was that their practice of creating these exquisite sand mandalas was about honoring and acknowledging the impermanence of life. And so they spent an entire week creating this beautiful work of art, and then they took a broom and they swept it all away. It was an incredible experience of the sand mandala. So what I took from this week's chapter was not just about the mandalas, but it was the emphasis on cycles, the circles and the cycles. And I really focused on us gaining an appreciation of the cyclical nature of life, the cyclical nature of nature, to be redundant about it. And she touches on this a little bit when she talks about the concentric circles of our lives, and also the cyclic natures found in the seasons. But I think sometimes in our modern age, because of technology, we don't always honor the rhythm of the seasons. I think we tend to kind of push back against the seasons. Because of lights, we can fight darkness. We don't have to go to bed anymore when it gets dark, because we can just turn the light on and binge Lucifer until 2 a.m., speaking for a friend. We heat our homes in the wintertime, which fights off the cold, and then we air condition our homes in the summertime, which fights off the heat, and we try to contain our gardens, and we try to eliminate wrinkles from our face, right? What if, instead, if we would embrace the cycles of nature? What if we would embrace the seasons of our life, instead of trying to hold on to our youth, which is supposed to just be a season, not an entire lifetime? What if during the winter we would rest, as the I Ching recommends, to slow down when it gets dark and sleep until the sun comes up? Wouldn't it be great if corporations could honor our natural cycles? What if we allowed our creative juices to kind of simmer until spring and then let them burst forth, like the buds and the trees and the bulbs? What if we moved and grew during the summer and harvested the fruits of our labors in the fall, and then repeated it all over again easily and effortlessly, without fighting the flow, without fighting the seasons? So last week I shared with you a little bit from the Hindu tradition, and I'm finding myself going back there again today, because one of the teachings from Hinduism is recognizing that there are 4 stages to our life, to our lives. I'm going to give you the English words for them. But essentially the 4 stages are student, which is when we're very young and we're learning and we're growing and we're hopefully being guided and mentored by those wiser than us. Then there's the householder, which is when we get in a relationship, or we go off and get married, or we have a job and we're seeking our career, and we may or may not have kids. Then we move into what we call the retirement phase, which is you may or may not actually be retired, but you slow down. You're not accumulating anymore. You're driven by different desires than when you were younger. And then finally, there's the fourth phase, which they say not everyone gets to, and this is called the renunciant, where basically you just let go of anything going on in the physical world, and you focus entirely on your spiritual nature and on your spiritual practice. And so what I love about this is it's aligned with what they call the 4 duties of life, and that's pleasure, success, social responsibility, and religious responsibility. So notice that pleasure, when we're younger, is a duty. You're supposed to go out and have fun when you're younger, before you settle down and have a mortgage. I'm just saying, right? Think about how refreshing that is. Think about how that acknowledges youth. Instead of wanting our kids to grow up so darn fast and take on so much responsibility so young, in this tradition, it's like, no, you're young, have fun. Now, have fun, they call it, they don't use the word moral, but basically it's do no harm. So think of the Wiccan Rede, and you do what you will, and you do no harm, right? So do what you want, have a great time, just don't harm yourself or anyone else. And then they acknowledge that at some point you do kind of move into that natural phase of wanting to settle down, right? And wanting to have a job and have a career and make a success out of yourself. It's a natural progression. And then they also acknowledge that at some point you don't want to do all of that. It's a natural progression. I love that this honors our humanity. It doesn't fight against it. And it also acknowledges that we are different people in different phases of our life. So often, I'll just speak for myself, because myself I said, we regret as adults things we did when we were younger. Anybody else regret things you did when you were younger? Right? And yet what this teaching teaches us is you were supposed to mess up when you were younger. Messing up is part of growth. It's part of learning. So there's no guilt, there's no shame, there's no recrimination, right? You messed up, you made mistakes because you're young and you're supposed to. It's part of the growth. So the expectations are different in each phase of life, in each cycle of life. Also essential to that philosophy is the expectation that our spiritual nature and growth are inherent in our human existence, not separate from it. As evidenced by the last phase of life is actually a reward, and the reward is you just get to focus on your spiritual nature. You don't have to worry about making a living anymore. Now, in the old days meaning thousands of years ago, the renunciant would go off into the woods, right? They say they would go off, he would get rid of all their worldly possessions, they would be dressed in their rags, and they would go off into the woods and live a life of pure spirit. The current readings will say, yeah, they don't really do that anymore. There's not a lot of running off into the woods anymore. But what there is an acknowledgement that they have earned the right to simply focus on their spiritual needs at that point in their life. It's an honoring of the cycles of life. Many traditions, the Native American tradition, the Chinese Taoism, honors the cycles of nature, the elements, earth, air, fire, water. It honors that we are all part of the wholeness of existence. The cycles and circles encourages us to embrace that. Don't fight it. Don't struggle against it. Embrace our part. Embrace the circular nature of our journey. So Becky is going to sing us into meditation. And then I'm going to encourage you, you can sit with your eyes closed during meditation, or as I kind of lead you, You can also be working on your mandalas, and if you want to get up and quietly go get more markers, please feel free to do that. This is your time to focus that energy on however you want to express during this time.
Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath and fire my spirit. Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath and fire my spirit. Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath and fire my spirit. Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath and fire my spirit. Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath and fire my spirit.
So I invite you to breathe. Breathe in that rhythm, the drum, the rhythm of life, the rhythm of our heartbeat, the rhythm of blood flowing through our veins. The rhythm of the wind, the rain. Just allow yourself to be in this moment. To be wherever you are on your life journey. To be wherever you are in the circle, the spiral of this lifetime. To embrace it, to relish it, to love it. And if you are coloring in your mandala, allow the color to flow through you. Allow the design to appear, not making it happen, but allowing it to happen. And then we see this as practice for life. To relax into the flow of the seasons. To not work so hard at making life happen, but allowing life to happen. Allowing whatever wants to flow through us to flow with ease, to flow with grace, to flow with beauty. As we allow the colors to flow onto the page, we take delight in the design being created. Just as when we allow life to flow, embracing the impermanence, embracing the unpredictability, letting go, we can take delight in what appears. As we acknowledge and embrace our connection to what is, our connection to nature, our connection to one another. As we acknowledge how we embody the earth, the air, the water, and the fire. We are one with it all.
Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit.
I think we need to do that around a fire circle this summer. So enjoy your mandala this week. If there are extras, please take them with you and share with a friend. And for those of you watching online, we will drop some of those JPEGs into your email this week, so you can also enjoy coloring one of your own mandalas. So this is the time of our service where we no longer pass the basket. We stopped doing that during COVID, and we've made the decision not to go back to doing it. There is an offering basket back in front of Dan, right there on the sound booth, if you'd like to drop something into that. And we can also accept offerings through our website using the donate button. So if you are inspired by the work of this community, we invite you to support it with the energy of your money so that we can continue to do excellent work in this community, and so that we can continue to be that positive path for spiritual living that the world is so hungry for. And so we say thank you, as always, for your incredibly generous and consistent support of this community. We are very grateful.
Stepped into the sun. There's more to see than can ever be seen, more to do than can ever be done. Some say eat or be eaten, some say live and let live, but all are agreed as they join the stampede. You should never take more than you give. In the circle of life, it's the wheel of fortune, it's the leap of faith, it's the bend of hope, till we find our place on the path unwinding. In the circle of life. Some of us fall by the wayside, and some of us soar to the stars, and some of us sail through our troubles, and some have to live with the scars. There's far too much to take in here, more to find than can never be found. But the sun rolling high through the sapphire sky keeps great and small on of the endless round, in the circle of life. It's the wheel of fortune, it's the leap of faith, it's the bend of hope, till we find our place on the path unwinding, in the circle of life.
Wow. This was Becky's happy day.
2 Disney songs? Are you kidding
Yes,
me?
I know. So, and I do want to thank Becky and Alan. Many of you know from seeing Janie's post in our group that she did test positive for COVID on Wednesday. So she's been home eating chicken soup and getting better, and we're crossing our fingers. If she tests negative on Monday or Tuesday, she can be back next Sunday. So just please send all sorts of lovies to our Janie and to Jody, who's been supporting her, so that we can see her back healthy again. And big, big thanks to Becky and Alan for stepping up and helping us out this morning. All right, you ready for this little light of mine?
I'm ready.
You ready? Yeah, stand up and let's sing the kids in. Okay. We're good.
Yeah.
If we could do it in a tent, we can do it. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Show us what you did. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Good job. Well, I just got the report from Miss Bridget that you were very well behaved today. So well done, our children. Would you like a little Valentine treaty? Is that a yes? I take it that's a yes. Okay, there you go. There. Okay. All right, you want to show me what you did? Show me what you did.
This is the
Ooh, what is it? Describe it to me.
okay.
It's the sun. Okay, it's a blue sun. I love it. Very creative. What's yours?
A person wandering around.
A person wandering around. Well, we kind of did that today a little bit in our cycle of life. Ooh, Aubrey, what did you do? God is in my cats. I love it. My cats definitely think they're God, so that works. Yeah, right. I'm their God. What did you do, John? Son? And what did you do? Oh, that's beautiful. So I'm guessing the lesson was all the things that God is in. Is that what the lesson was? And God is in you too, right?
I don't even know what this is. I'm guessing this is a flower. I didn't
It's
draw it.
it's a mandala. It's a mandala. Oh, it's beautiful, you guys. Thank you so much. All right, now you can put your papers down, and I want you to put your hands up like this. Okay, good job. And you're going to catch the blessing. Are you ready to catch the blessing? No, they're more interested in catching the candy. Okay, so we know where your priorities are. All right, grown-ups, you know how we do this. Let's bless our little sweethearts. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in each and every one of you. And happy Valentine's Day. We love you.
I want to get you.
Okay, go on. Go, Munchkin. Go. Are you gonna stay up here with me while we sing the peace song? You wanna sing with me? Okay. All right, let's sing the peace song. God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And wherever God is, all is well. Go forth, have a wonderful week, embracing whatever season you are in right now. I love you. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye, Facebook and YouTube land. Join us downstairs for fellowship if you're in the building.